Hello and welcome to Planning with Chloe. I'm Chloe and this is my A5 ring binder planner. It's a Moterm Luxe in the colour Dusty Rose. It's the pebbled leather, and I'm going to be switching this up because this has been my setup for a few months now. We're heading into November and I need to switch things up because this doesn't really reflect what is going on outside my window right now with the leaves falling from the trees. I need to get a little bit more of that autumnal, full, cozy vibes. So let's get into this. Now, I'm not going to do a complete planner flip because, well, I don't know, let's do a quick flip through. So I've got not a great deal going on up here in my pockets, as you can see. I'm just not that great at doing the whole layered deco moment. It looks a little bit haphazard, if I'm honest. I mean, if I take this guy away, or gal, then it's maybe a little bit more cohesive, but it looks a bit bare. And then these are just, oh my God, you guys, I'm like really into these plush toys, keychain, pendant things. So I have a teak wood, which I've given to my daughter, and I have a mist from the Skull Panda Le Presinisme, whatever, that collection. And yeah, I don't know how I ended up falling down that rabbit hole, but I did. Don't judge me, it is what it is, and I like cute things, okay? And I also have my little Kojimon gal. I'm doing a terrible job on this video. I am so sorry. It's been a long time since I recorded a video, and I feel rusty as anyone can feel. Like I am well out of my comfort zone right now. So in terms of my setup, I've still got my yearly calendar, which, oops, I haven't marked off October yet, but we only are like a week or so, week and a bit into November. So I'm not too downcast about that not being completely up to date. My quarterly, it's not really been working for me in the way that I thought I would use it. So initially I thought this would be like a future login system, but because I use monthly dividers in my planner, and I have for each month, what can I show? If we go to, maybe head to December, because there's not a great deal in there. So each month has a calendar and list in there. So pretty much I'm doing my future login straight into here because I'm keeping it all in my planner. I'm not the kind of person who has a planner with the health section, the house maintenance section, the curriculum for the school kids section, the house cleaning section, the meal planning section. I don't have all of those sections because that setup doesn't really work for how I'm living my life at the moment. Maybe I should have those sections, I don't know. But for me right now, I prefer having the monthly sections and having an insert in there so that I can future log what is going on. So that meant that this quarterly became a little bit redundant for the initial use case that I was applying it to. But actually what I am doing in here is I'm logging when I've done certain things. So when did the dishwasher last have its deep clean? I can look back because I'm logging that on these inserts. So for next year, what I'm thinking of doing is switching it up. And these inserts are, yes, I'm going to selflessly plug myself. These are my inserts that I sell in my shop, which is on Etsy, and I also have my own website. But I've decided to redesign the quarterly insert a little bit. There's a few different variations. The one that I'm thinking is going to be the best use case for me in this situation is going to be this one called the yearly log, where I can see the entire year at the glance, and then I can just log things in here as and when they happen. That makes much more sense for me. The quarterly has had a little bit of a redesign, only slightly, only slightly, just ever so slightly, in that I was putting the date number and then the item for that date. So I've just given myself given a little box for the date to go in there, or a date dot could go in there. And then one other one that I decided to add was another version of the yearly log, but this one you can separate. Now, I did think about whether I could use this, but because just because it's a lot neater, you've already got the dates there. This would be great if you're doing some sort of quarterly planning, and each quarter you want that bird's eye view of what's coming up. This would work really, really well, because you've got the little calendar at the top, so you can see where the weekends fall and what days certain things fall on. But then underneath, and then you can do little call outs as well, which is quite cool. You can do a little dot sticker over them to highlight different things that are going on, so you can see like the key things, and then you've got this list where you can go a little bit more granular with the details. Now, I do love this, but for me, I don't think this is quite right for how I plan and how I would want to use it. So actually, I'm thinking this, not this one. The yearly log is where it's going to be at for me, and I'm quite excited to use that for logging when certain things have happened. So that is that section. Another insert that I haven't designed yet, but because of what I've done here over the course of the year, is a way of tracking like paying in installments. So this year I've facilitated using like the pay in 3 or the pay in 5 things that are available on Amazon and Klarna for certain things. However, I don't want to spend money that I don't have, if that makes sense. So I just want to use this as a way of managing cash flow a little bit easier, so that there's still, the funds are there and I could pay these off. I'm only buying things where if something was to happen and I wanted to just clear that, I've got the funds there to do it. But actually, I just want to have more of my money in my bank account than elsewhere, so I can utilize it better. I hope that you're tracking with me on that. So what I'm thinking is, because I don't want to have too many different things concurrently running, and the way these things are set up, they're designed to make it really easy for you to fall down that rabbit hole of having multiple paying in installments running in succession, running in sync with each other, as it were. I don't want that. So I like having a way of being able to see, okay, I'm currently paying off this and this one finishes whenever it finishes, and then I can make that judgment call of whether I'm just going to buy something and pay it in full, or whether I'm going to keep my money in my bank account and spread that payment out based on how many I've got going at that current moment in time and when they end. Sorry, that is a long waffle, but suffice to say, or the upshot of that is that I do want something where it makes it a little bit easier for me to see. And maybe it would be like the yearly log, I don't know, so that I can see what's going on in the year, when it's going to get paid off. In fact, I think the yearly log would actually be quite good for this. Or even maybe like the quarterly one, because it has that list. Not that I'm going to have that many running at the same time. So yeah, maybe the yearly log would work for that. But that is one thing that I definitely want to add to my planner for next year, although I haven't done any recently. But anyway, then I've got a little inbox here because I've been getting rid of stuff on Vinted. I don't know how international Vinted is, but in case you've not heard of Vinted, it's like a platform a bit like eBay, where you can sell your unwanted things that are still in good condition, whether they're new with tags, nearly new, or still in good condition, like used but in good condition. So I've been using it as a way of selling things like my kids' coats or Wellington boots. They seem to do really well, and they're things that the kids aren't using all the time, but because of their age they grow out of them quite quickly, therefore they are still in good condition, good enough to pass on to someone else. So that's what that situation is there, and I've got a few bits of mine that I'm just not wearing or using that I need to list and sell. So that is that. And then coming in, as I said, my planner setup is done in a way where I have my monthly dividers, a monthly or month at a glance insert in there. Now, I was using an hourly insert or like a weekly schedule, but to be honest, having looked at my September, I've really fallen off the wagon on that. Like this one, I think I backlogged what happened that week, and then the following week it was kind of a bit sparse, and then I didn't even bother towards the end of September. So in October I didn't even put a weekly insert in. I just had my month at a glance, my daily tracker, which I've really been loving ticking things off on this daily tracker. That's worked really well, so I will be continuing that, but I haven't added any weeklies because I just haven't been using them. And that's not to say that I'm not doing anything in the week. I just feel like my part-time job, which is during the week, has just taken over my life a lot more now. And I don't like that. I need to get back on track on carving out time for myself and things outside of my job. So what I'm planning for November is introducing a week on one page. So this is a new insert that I've added to the shop, and it's just a nice clean insert. It's undated other than the year. I wanted to keep the top really clean, but I think on the listing on Etsy and my website you get them dated for 2025 and 2026, but I just love this clean layout. I didn't really use it too well on the first week of November, but I have been doing my meal planning in the big boxes, and then any important call outs go in that big box as well, and then I can list out the things that are actually happening. So hopefully this is going to help me get back on track. Now that is kind of it for the setup. It doesn't feel like I'm doing a lot, but yeah. And then in terms of writing implements, I've just got a mild liner, I've got a Uni One in this lovely green colour that worked so well with this moment at the front. And then I've used if we go back to the back, I've actually used an ollie clip to clip my pencil on. I feel like that's worked out quite well. I do like how that looks, so I'm not sure how I'm going to continue that with the planner that I'm going to move into. So as I said, this colour, not really feeling it for November. Like we are really into almost winter, so it feels here in the UK. It hasn't got cold enough, to be honest, but it does kind of feel pretty chilly now. So, oh, did I even mention that these two planner charms, they are Colour Cafe. This cup is a new addition, the little coffee cup, and it's kind of reminds me of I've got a Yeti, one of the small, not the tumbler ones, but the small coffee cup ones, and my cup is in white. Well, it's white and stainless steel, but that's a little reminiscent thing because I love my Yeti. I love it. I'm not a Stanley girl, I'm a Yeti girl. I have a big water canister as well that I take to the gym. It helps keep my water really cold. It's humongous. It has like a good handle on the top. Like this isn't like a promotional thing. It's not sponsored or anything. It's just I like Yeti. There you go. What can I say? Maybe I picture myself as that like outdoorsy hunter-gatherer type girl, but I don't know. Anyway, so the planner that I'm planning on going into is actually back into my Filofax Malden. I do love this colour for autumn, and I'm going to go with a brown mild liner, which is so hideously dark. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to use it. I might have to pair it up with like the mild beige as well, because I'm highlighting things. I mean, it's not too bad. If I show you on my tracker, it works well on my tracker. Although when I started, I forgot that I was switching to brown because I haven't switched over yet, because I've been promising myself that I'm going to record a video. So that's that little situation there, but it works quite well on the tracker for highlighting things. So yeah, but I might have to have another one that I use for highlighting my days off and different things on here, like the beige. Anyway, I'm going to move into this one when we go in for the brown and beige vibes, and then planner stickers, because I do need to get back to setting up my week and laying down some stickers. I might go for a bit of maybe fawn. Fawn is a nice colour. I think that could look quite nice. And these are by PAPERTARIE. She's a UK Etsy seller who does lots of functional planner stickers, like date dots and shapes and things like that. So I'm thinking this will be quite nice in here. Maybe even the sage is quite nice too. Or I did get the sienna, but I feel like the date dots aren't quite as successful. Maybe the sienna for, oh, I don't know. Anyway, I think maybe fawn. We'll do fawn, and maybe, because she's discontinued this colour, so I need to use it up and clear it out, maybe stone, because I still have date dots in the stone. So yeah, maybe if I take the date dots from here and use that as a little combo there, and that should work quite well. What do you think? Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. How long is this video? How long have I been waffling for? Oh my goodness. Okay, I feel like this is a good, like, easing myself in. Sorry, it's really waffly. Hopefully there's been some takeaways in here that you guys have found useful, and in my next video I will show how I've got this set up. Not that I'll have the tweaks for the inserts that I'm going to be using for 2026, but at least I can show how my week on one page is working out for me. And it's just started to tip it down with rain. I don't know if you can hear that. I'll be quiet. Can you hear that on the roof? I mean, it's really relaxing, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now, planner friends.